Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with another wonderful episode of Your Turn, and the year end decided to kind of go out with a bang. Like there's some weirdo stuff going on, and there's some weirdo drama.
Oh,
and it's humorous to me.
It's honestly been an exciting year. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's honestly, when you look back, even with our slower weeks for it and stuff, I still managed to rant 45 minutes about Pokemon for some stupid. I don't even like the company that much, but for some reason, like I think the community is stupider than the company, and it just pisses me off. I'm like, how are you guys? Like, they already set the bar low. Stop it, you know. But none of this has to do with Pokemon.
Speaking of low bars, yeah.
But yeah,
localizers, like translators.
Unintended segue, by the way.
They get btfo'd. So basically, the people, like, it's been all over Twitter and like everybody's been talking about it. But AI, Japan is looking to replace localizers with AI, and they're crying about it. And we would stand up for you if you guys actually did your job. If you actually didn't just butcher the shit out of all the works and all the original works, and yeah, it's been tasty as shit.
You know, and like I think this is really humorous to me a lot, because it does prove a point that AI can only work and AI is only useful when stuff already exists.
Yeah.
So and what's funny is I've tried to like explain reasoning for understanding changes of certain context when there's like a loss of translation, cultural differences and stuff. And every time I try to make that argument, 3 days later, a translator makes some of the stupidest crap and then like admits to it to the rest of the world that they just did it because they had an inside joke among the three of them, and it's so funny, so we had to put it in a video game. And I was like, dude, these guys were literally talking about depression. Why did you do that? Like, that was like the dumbest place to put your little meme bullshit in. And like, it makes me look bad. It makes me look bad because it makes me feel like I'm a shill. I'm like, no, it's like this crap is the reason why like AI is going to exist. And mind you, from my understanding, researching this, it looks like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, they're doing this as like a more of like just to translate the script, right?
It saves cost too. So
they're like, okay, we're going to translate what this means, right? And then it will save costs, and they will also have like their localizers, if they're playing on localizing, just kind of adjust the phrasing so the words make sense.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're not, like, the context is there.
Yeah.
You know? And I think we're so worldly connected now that we understand there's going to be like Japanese cultural things that happen in a Japanese game, even if the game is like built in the medieval time.
Yeah.
You know, it's just simply that way. I mean, literally a week ago, there's a lot of people who made the Goemon franchise, and now on the 64. And the reason why Goemon, the Mystical Ninja Goemon game, tanked on the 64 is because at the time nobody really understood what that all was. Like, oh yeah, it's Asian as hell, but
now we have the internet.
Yeah, but now we have the internet, so we totally understand a lot of stuff. So like, we went from Goemon being this like defunct failure of a sales because people didn't understand what's going on, to games like my words are just escaping me. The drumming game, Taiko. There you go. Yeah. As soon as I did that, the Taiko drum game, where like we don't understand it here, we don't understand the cultural of it here, like fundamentally, right? But because we're so connected, we found out. And we're like, oh, so it's like, it's just their thing. It's their kind of like celebratory like instrument and stuff, you know? So we can relate to that because we do have like, you know, marching bands and stuff to help in our like sports and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's an ode to when we used to have marching bands to war, fundamentally.
Yeah.
So we understand that cultural association with music.
Yeah.
So even though we don't understand the direct relation to that music, we understand why it's there, because it's a cultural thing. It's a celebratory thing. It's a thing about, you know, Japanese culture. And they just recently made, like, these guys who made Mystical Goemon just made a new game for the Switch, and it looks clean, dude. And it looks like a spiritual successor of Goemon on steroids. And he's a Taiko drum guy too. all of it is about festives and like all these other Japanese like tall tales and stuff like that. Fucking beautiful, right?
Yeah.
All they would need to do is just translate the information and just make sure like
It's accurate, yeah.
make sure it's accurate. And if they wanted to, they could use that money that they get from those wokoids who translate crap to make it kind of fit their weird fantasies to voice actors to just play whatever the script has already been done for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, even then, though, I think so far right now it's just a manga that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But once it becomes like an industry standard, they're gonna start pushing it outwards. So, video games that got butchered, like Fire Emblem, we were right about that too.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't get stuff like Jelly Donuts or like taiko drums will be replaced with marching band, like shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times they try to justify like, oh, well, we're just adjusting it so it would make sense in English because it won't be to the store I go to, it's I will go to the store. And everybody's just beating their asses because they would just put in really stupid context inside
and
that.
Like, I understand, like, again, I know there's some, like, weird phrasing that kind of is off kilter from English to Japanese.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
various things, stuff. So you do need to change something.
Stuff like that,
Like,
I would understand. Instead of, like, because they would say, like, have a nice sleep, and then it would be weird in English, so they would change it to, like, have a good night.
Have a good night, or rest, or sleep well.
Yeah.
Something that feels in line with the way the character works.
But they would insert really stupid shit where it's like, don't dream of the patriarchy while you're asleep or something stupid like that.
I will dream of the patriarchy because it gets me money. Yeehaw. See?
Yeah.
I'm being spicy. No. But like literally when you're saying that, like I had that, I was like, we got to understand some of these changes happen because of the cultural understanding. There's sometimes
that I can understand.
And like I can understand that. But every time I've made those defenses, literally like not only 3 days later, they're like, oh yeah, we totally put a little like meme joke conversation we had once in, I think it was like God Wars. I could be wrong. It was like another tactical RPG. It wasn't Fire Emblem. It was like an offshoot one. And like we just thought it was going to be so and like the guy, like the actual conversation, like direct translation was like about depression. It wasn't even like, oh, my family died or anything. It was just like, man, I'm just trying to, it was like literally they're all frowning while having this meme conversation. And I was like, this is very like clashing, like it, and you make me look stupid.
And they wonder why they have so much contempt. So
yeah, dude, seriously, it is. Oh my god, it is so dumb. But again, with the AI thing, like robots and industrialization and stuff like that, nobody wept when the refrigerator replaced the ice maker.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. And basically the translator is... And the thing is, if the translators actually did their job and were very true to their nature to it, we would probably have been like defending against it. You would have had us go like fight robots for you. And now we're just gonna toss you into the wolves, man. Like we don't care.
Yeah.
Like not only do you spit in our faces when we're like, hey, that's kind of messed up, but then you also like justify other artistic censorship that doesn't make sense.
Well, it just wasn't like just earlier before they were being smarmy about it, and then now it's like, oh well, you guys should defend us and you shouldn't like this.
No, get fucked. No. Because not only did I try to understand with you, then you decide to spit in my face for defending you. So no, get fucked. The AI is here to stay for that. Like honestly, like, and it exists. AI exists, and translations exist. The story has existed before the AI came in. All it's doing is translating. Primo, roll it. Like honestly, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna defend you for this. You've had years to correct. You've had years to course correct.
Yeah.
Like years. People kept telling you, just don't mess him up. Just keep it true. That's all you gotta do. Just keep it true. And they keep going, oh, but if I keep it true, it'd be so confusing. But I'm also gonna put a little meme in there because I am so silly. Tee-hee. Like, no, get fucked, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna grow up with that. No.
So, bunch of hack frauds. Speaking of
hacking. We're having a good time. We're having a good time, guys. Yeah.
Insomniac gets hacked to hell.
Insomni hacks.
So
We're just gonna be awkwardly quiet for that. For we just realize how that was bad. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna do it again. But I will. But I'm not.
But I think this hack was like 3 months ago. I think. Basically, they had like a terabyte of data from Sony, and there were. I remember them saying there was a certain section. It was like 10. It was they wanted like a certain amount in Bitcoin. So they wanted like 10 million in Bitcoin, and then 9 million. Because it's weird that it was a certain percentage that was bought. I'll just put it like that too. But so basically, it was like this is kind of the weird context. But basically, from what I heard was that Sony hack. There was Sony didn't want to pay it, but somebody paid for like $1 million worth of the hack of the data.
Yeah.
So 9 million is what's being leaked out, and the Insomniac stuff was in there. So just to be clear, so there's 1 million Bitcoin worth of their data that got sold off. So we don't know what that is, but everything else got leaked. So, anyways, back to what got leaked.
Who's to say that the other things won't get leaked later anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's be real here.
So, maybe we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, yeah, back. It's just kind of weird that there's a certain chunk of the data that didn't get leaked. So
that is very weird. Think about it. Like it's like the nudes, or like all the CEOs are on a certain island.
Yeah.
No. That particular stuff, we need that. We can forget the rest of it.
Well, I don't know if they paid for it, but it did go out into the black market, and then somebody bought that certain amount. So we don't know who did it, but everything else that got leaked was Insomniac, and there was like a bunch of games, Wolverine specifically.
I remember seeing a few bits of that Wolverine one. Oh my god. So before we go into that too, like, I've known a lot of people just trash the hell out of the Wolverine, and how dare you make me defend Insomniac, by the way, for you guys being this stupid.
I guess everybody was complaining about the consumables and health packs.
Yeah, so Wolverine's not supposed to be out until like what, later 2024 or 2025 or something?
I think it's 2025, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, none of this matters. None of the stuff that was leaked matters. Like, literally, none of the stuff that we see out of Wolverine movie matters, because all of that can change immediately.
Yeah.
Like, that is the fundamental flaw of it. And what I think is really humorous is you could tell who's just the gamers and who actually makes games and designs games.
Yeah.
By how they responded to some of the people who are doing animation. Like, oh my god, he's using this. They're rehashing the Spider-Man animations. Man, I told you this game was going to be lazy. They haven't implemented their own animations for this game yet.
Yeah.
They generally rehash some old stuff and old assets to test certain mechanics that they have already added. I mean, think about it. What was it? Nintendo used just weird blocks of tofu with a little water gun on the front to simulate the mechanic concept that they were going to do for Splatoon.
Yeah.
What was it? Resident Evil. In fact, Resident Evil 3, you could unlock Mr. Tofu as a character, which was really just the block that they used to test the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally how that shit works. Like, them just rehashing some animations allows them to use the engine that they've already built on. Went, all right, let's see what we can do with this, and start testing stuff.
Yeah.
And the consumables and the crafting and stuff, probably just a couple ideas. They probably have already been over it.
Yeah.
They're like, what are we supposed to do? But they could easily have done that, right? We don't know that. But what's funny is you can tell who's the gamers and who's the game designers, because the gamers will just like trash it. You're like, oh, they're just... Yet all the game designers are like, dude, this game's like 2 years out. Of course it's gonna look like this.
Well, it's like complaining about the raw egg. Like, oh my god, I saw him put raw eggs in the cookie. Don't buy it. Like,
yeah. That's exactly that, dude. That is exactly how that works.
Like, maybe because it's not cooked yet.
Oh my god! You just added flour to the cookie. That's gonna turn out really dry. Oh. What do you think it's made out of?
They're gonna put the wrapper in it too. Look, he just bought chocolate, and it's still in its wrapper. Yeah.
Oh god. It's literally how that works.
It's not baked yet, guys. It's okay.
And you want to know what's really funny about this whole thing too? Like, I only saw bits and pieces of it, right? But even the things I saw most out of it, and I think this is the reason why Spider-Man even pulled a lot of their like woke flags and crap out of the game, is because the ESG stuff got leaked.
Oh yeah. Well, the crazy thing was, there was internal emails about like ESG and like, oh, there's diversity training. I think the craziest one was Sony saying, "Hey, going forward, we're no longer doing this shit." And it's like, oh, so we were right. We were right.
Again, we were right. Again, and again. We would. I would love to be wrong, because that would mean the game industry was good.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. Like, the moment we're wrong means the game industry is doing better. Like, that's literally where we're at right now. But yeah, no, like, that was the only thing I was like, oh, that probably explains why they changed that. Because I saw them change it. I'm like, well, that's weird. Like, because the game sold like what, 4 million in its first week or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was like one of those like, that's weird to change that if you're selling 4 million. And then that leak came out, I'm like, oh, because everybody was trashing the crap out of it. That's what happened. See, this is why Nintendo doesn't bail into this crap. Because honestly, this whole ESG thing is just one of those phases.
Yeah.
Like how the industry just tries to appeal to certain people. Like early 2000s, every kid, every character was like translated to just be a dark, gloomy, whatever, man, type of edgy teenager. You know, that's the ESG is just another version of it. But the ESG is just far more destructive.
Yeah.
Because the industry is so bigger now that something like that is going to be more damaging than when it was in the 2000s. Because the 2000s, like 20 years ago, dude, like if that game tanked, oh well, you just made another one. We were still in the exploratory age, you know? And nobody does that anymore, except for indies. Indies are good. Still got to stay on that boat. And what even gets worse is I think it was a week later that Ubisoft got hacked. Yeah, apparently they also got hacked, and they managed to thwart it. So they were trying to take, what was it? Like, I think it was like 3 terabytes worth of data, and they couldn't extract it in time before Ubisoft locked them out.
Holy shit.
So they didn't get squat.
Oh, jeez.
But I tell you, you know what that means though? Their emails just say, add more lameness. This game's not woke enough. This character needs to say fuck 35 more times before the tutorial is over. This person needs to be a transracial trans athlete that is transed on paper. What? Don't yell at me. Just do it. Like that's literally gonna be, like literally the translation. The email is just gonna have a response that says what? Like it's gonna be like that. That's exactly what's gonna be. And that's why Ubisoft's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Ubisoft's not gonna course correct. They're gonna be like, nope, we're staying on this ship.
I think the funniest thing I remember somebody was saying that these hacks, most like the majority of these hacks are people who are higher up because the low level guys don't have access to big chunks of data like that. So more than likely, it was some like CEO.
Like if it was a low end hack, you would probably get like if it was
the
like
textures
ground
you're
floor,
working on.
you'd get like just like a whole like maybe 3 gigabytes of files of just really flatted texture files.
Yeah,
that would be it.
And then like their flights, and then
and their flight
how much
information.
they're paying
That's
for
it.
gas, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's basically it because they don't get anything else beyond that. Because think about it, when you worked in like McDonald's, did you ever know what your fucking manager was doing? No, of course not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course not. That's my point.
So it's freaking hilarious that it's like, I'm pretty sure it's some CEO who's like bragging to some hot chick at the
At
bar.
E3.
Yeah, at the bar
At the ruins of E3.
and he's like, oh yeah, you want to come into my office? And then she steals like a flash drive. Like, there you go.
Yeah, it's very like Jason Bourne-esque.
Yeah.
That's the closest we're gonna get to Jason Bourne-esque. Is some hoe, some OnlyFans thought. Just he's like, yeah, I'm a guy that works at Sony.
Yeah.
Like, y'all simp too hard, and you guys are ruining gaming for us. Thanks, guys. Like that. Honestly, now that I said that out loud, what if the one thing that happened with Sony is because some of the people collectively were like, we're not okay with what's going on right now, and it just kind of like gave access to somebody who can help with that, and used it as leverage to get after the CEOs and stuff like that of Sony. Like, hey, look, and then like, they found out.
Don't give me hope, right?
Well, you gotta think, like, several of these people have been in the industry for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And that they don't want to lose their job, because even saying the most slightest, like, off-color thing that's like, oh, I think that's a little too extreme, apparently that's a little too much. That's a little too right-wing. That's a little too everything, And they lose their jobs. And then, like, you feel like... And, like, that's the same thing with, like, a weird tweets from some random people who just, like... That's an off-color thing to say right now, because it's very woke, when a lot of the times you just talk about your music. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Why would you have to say that?
Yeah.
And I think that's the point that happens with that. And Ubisoft was able to keep their ESG score pretty up there by blocking them out. That means they're going to suck some more. Brace yourselves, guys. It's not going to get pretty.
Well, we'll see how much money they can bleed.
Saints Row 2, the fucking is going to happen. I assure you. So, outside that, there are some interesting whispers. I wouldn't say it's rumors, but it kind of suggests that it is. But there's been a couple name drops that has happened during the hiring phase for Namco's new studios that are dedicated to Nintendo systems, which was it Studio 2 and Studio S or something like that? I forgot how they call them, but Studio 2 and Studio S or something like that. And they're hiring specifically for Studio S for a side-viewed action platformer game. And then they dropped some kind of naming convention that kind of suggests that it was not just with one intellectual property or knowledge of one intellectual property, but knowledge of like a very huge collective of them. Essentially, they kind of listed off a bunch of them. They're like IPs such as, and they listed off quite literally not a single one of them that wasn't already in Smash Brothers. So, I'm not saying they listed a whole thing. There's like, you need at least extensive knowledge for Final Fantasy, Minecraft, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, as examples. So that suggests, and then on top of that, Sakurai went on some kind of YouTube video and said that he has not thought much about retiring from the game industry, and he's really working on his project already, suggesting
he's Brett Favre. No.
Yeah, he's Brett Favre. He's playing football right now. But no, that Studio S might actually be the people who are working with Sora Ltd, which is probably Studio Sora, basically, or Studio Sakurai, whatever you want to say. It's Studio Smash. But basically, Studio S is working on already. We don't know the depths of it, but probably working on a Smash Brothers game.
Okay.
So, all you Smash fans, and what's funny is, after this name drop, the feed on my YouTube was like, is Smash dying? Let's talk about it. I'm like, because Smash is 6 years old. Usually by this point in time, we have a new system and everybody's already theorizing, when's the next Smash Brothers? Like, that's literally... But since we haven't heard anything about a new Switch, and Smash has already been out for, 5-6 years, people are like, I guess this is really the end. Like, you guys are so dramatic. Shut up. I make these like Smash boards for Twitter and Minds just because it's just a fun little idea, just to keep going. Because everybody wants their favorite character in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why I do it. And I think some of these fights would be interesting. It's just, hey, this is a neat idea. But there's a lot of people out there that are like so like their whole channel is about it. So. Like, the people who used to do theory crafting and origins of the costumes and stages and all that, like, they did all these breakdowns. They're done with breaking down. There's nothing that they can build off of anymore.
Oh, okay.
They're, like, empty. Aaron Itmar, Alpha Rad, and all them, they're like, they used to do a lot of this, like, Smash stuff. And now there's like, here's some stuff from mods that we played together. There's nothing they can crack into.
Oh, okay.
You know? And a lot of the mods animate, like, really bad. horrible to watch, and that's why they're on the decline. They're like, we need another Smash so we can. Meanwhile, there's like other people like Delsathin, which just does like concepts, which I think is cool. Yeah. I honestly think people should just do more concepts, like what if, you know. And he does like these little character breakdown concepts for like characters that people vote on and stuff. The last one was Mio from Xenoblade 3. Like stuff like that, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. You know? And he does break them down pretty neat. So if you are a Smash Brothers fan, Delsathin, pretty good dude to kind of follow into. He does do a lot of stuff. He does even do like, if they were to remake the characters to better fit the characters growing out and like adding on to the new elements. But yeah, I think it's I think it is them working on the new Smash Brothers. And we've talked about that years ago.
Yeah.
That like in order for them to even like pace with the new Switch, they would have already had to been developing.
Yeah. Okay.
Which indicates that a new console might be around. And they are also supposedly March, I think, getting a new update on Smash Brothers and adding new spirits to it too. It's like a celebration of Smash Brothers and all that, and they're going to have a few. And it's not even going to be a huge patch. I don't think it's a huge patch. I think it's kind of like a balancing patch to add a new like celebratory, like add the new celebratory tournament match and stuff, and then add the new spirits. That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
It's not big, but that already building up, that with the name drops and all that, kind of indicates that we're getting a new system soon. Not soon, like the 2024 is the last year of the Switch. Dude, the Switch has been on his last years for the last 4 years. Let's be real here. This thing's a titan. Like, and it's still selling. Like, it might as well just hang around for a while.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, think about it. If it's just hanging around for a little bit longer, like 2-3 years more, which would be awesome. Honestly, personally, yes, I think it would be awesome.
Well, I don't even know why we stuck with these 4-year cycles anyways.
Because the tech was just going up higher. Because I think the reason why we went to the 4-year cycle is because people wanted better tech, and there was just this power pissing contest, but people wanted more graphics, and now it's just the whole brand of being able to have power. Like, would you rather have a Subaru Legacy or a Subaru Street Racer? That's basically what they're saying. You know, like, oh, I want the Subaru Street Racer, yo. Like, that's basically it. They just want to buy the PS5, so they're like, yo, I just got the coolest Call of Duty on this coolest new system. Yo, we're best friends now, right? We're all friends now because I'm cool. It's not. It's stupid.
But you just go to work and you don't race. And you bought the most expensive tires. You bought the most expensive body. You bought the most expensive hood. Yeah.
And you still get groceries with it.
Yeah.
And the stupidest thing is the power pissing contest is generating these games that are costing 100 gigabytes of space. You know, like, like I'm not, no. I'd rather the Switch kind of stick around for a little bit longer and like the indies just kind of shine. I would love to see like an indie just do a like last year, exclusive to the Switch, just on its like last year, and of course port it to somewhere else if you want to, and watch it just take the hell off. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be like a new Undertale. It's just like something just blows everyone out of the water, but is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it does indicate that the new Switch console is coming up. Do I think it's going to be this year? I don't even think it's going to be announced this year. I think we're going to see it next year, or 2025.
Okay.
And then we'll see it later, that 2025.
Okay. I'm gonna say I can't speak. I will predict summer.
Summer?
Yeah.
Late summer for the release, or the summer for the announcement?
2024 summer announcement.
Summer announcement? I don't know. That's pretty bold. I think the earliest will probably be fall.
Okay.
I think it'll probably be fall earliest if we're lucky. I wouldn't say lucky. Just if Nintendo's very generous and confident of their system, they'd announce it in the fall of. No, actually, they'll probably wait until after the holiday season of the last Switch, and then they announce it during March, and then roll out like at the end of summer.
Okay.
Like, that's probably going to be what happens. Because that's what they did with January when they first announced the Switch. Announced it in January, released it in March, and it just took the fuck off.
Yeah.
So they'll probably use a similar method. But I think it will be kind of like at the beginning of their fiscal year when they talk about the new Switch. And by the end of summer, have it out.
Okay.
Just in time for the new holiday.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Exciting times.
Kind of crazy times, dude. Like, that's... And I honestly hope they just port Ultimate, update the graphics, and just add new characters.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, that's primo. Just balance it. It's great. Like, we don't need from the scratch up again. People keep saying, no, we need to... No. Literally, if you port the new characters, add the new models to the characters, update maybe some of the older color characters, like refresh 2 or 3 of them, or maybe even 4. Could work, you know? And add some additional characters. You don't have to... You just have to renegotiate everything else.
Yeah.
That's it, you know? So, there is that. We're going to go ahead and wrap that up. It's kind of exciting news at the end of the year. And I'd like to thank you all for joining us. If you like our content, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And as always,
We will see you on the other side.
Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.